Erik, there clearly were two decisive factors in the game. Number one, the start. Number two, the rebounding. Can you give us your thoughts on both of those elements, please?
Yeah, the start, sometimes that happens. I mean, we were able to fight back into it. I didn't think that was a major factor. I mean, obviously, we would like to start it off, better, but I think the first quarter we actually missed some very makeable shots, and then they, were able to get a double-digit lead, but we crawled back into it. The story is, the second chance opportunities. We actually did force them. I don't have the percentage on shots without an offensive rebound, but I thought we defended, fairly well, particularly in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter on through the second half. We just were not able to come up with those finishing rebounds, and it was kind of a mix, a highlight film gone bad of either missed blockouts, bobbled balls, tipped balls, or two guys there and they were able to just come up with the rebound. And if they did come up with the rebound, they also were able to turn those into scores. Many of those momentum breaking scores. So you do have to give them credit. I think Quinn has done a real good job of just creating an identity for that team. They're different just in terms of how they really try to crash and get second opportunities, and that was costly today.
You guys have been a good defensive rebounding team for most of the season, and recently there's been some slippage. What would you point to as maybe the reason?
I don't know, but we're going to get to the film on it. I've said this before. We are a good defensive rebounding team. And I would say there's probably been a little bit more than a half dozen times this season, maybe 8 to 10 times when we have not rebounded, where it's just been absolutely crippling, in terms of how it's hurt us. So that we definitely have to, get to the film and go back to all the fundamentals. We knew coming into this game that this game would be decided, ball in the air, ball on the floor, and it certainly was.
He still didn't shoot well from three, but is there anything that wasn't happening with the defense that made it so Trey could look more comfortable than he usually looks against these guys?
They have some longer players, than they've had before. A lot of switchable guys. So some of these, triggers that you would previously be able to get, I think they shore up some of that with their length. Capella, does a great job of traffic copying stuff in the paint. But they just had a lot of long bodies, to be able to, even if you had an opening, they would close the opening pretty quickly or deflect a ball, or you'd miss a moment because of that length. But again, I think even with some of the missed open shots that we had, or we had a lot of shots that were not point blank, but they were at the rim, that they challenged with their length. But those were still, some of those were makeable shots. We missed a lot of those. But still, this would have been in our wheelhouse, to grind one out in the mud if we were able to find a way to at least break even, on the glass.
So as a team that sent a lot of doubles at Bam on the roll in the past, and it seemed like they did that a little bit. Did you feel it took it out of your offense a little bit? Some of your triggers with some of the stuff they were throwing?
A little bit, and some of the switching. It was a little bit of both. But they were definitely, with their length, it made them look like they were in two places at once. Because for the most part, they would try to stay at home on our three-point shooters, regardless of the coverage. But it wasn't like they were leaving the paint wide open.
Spo, a lot was made of what the feel of this was going to be like, this opportunity. What is the regrouping going to be like going into the next opportunity?
Hey, at least we have a lot of experience. We've had a lot of ups and downs this season. Nothing about this season has been easy, so we're gonna do this the hard way. We're gonna get back to work tomorrow, regroup, put our arms around each other, get to the film, and get better from this.
Obviously, the result was the main thing today, but encouraging to see Kyle do what he did today and play over 30 minutes and finish with over 30 points.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He's an incredible competitor, and I think this has been a very intelligent, reasonable plan the last 6 weeks, and it's really allowed him to be healthy and to be able to move in a way like this, for these kind of moments. If he can move, he's a competitor. He's had so many monster moments over the course of his career. It's really about his health and being able to move.
So you mentioned with the rebounding, sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. When the number is and the discrepancy is that big, how much of it is just effort?
Yeah, I don't know. There were some that we missed blockouts, and then, like I said, it was like that's at one point it was a comedy of errors, deflections, missed balls through our hands, even when we had blockouts or two guys there and they would end up with the ball. I don't think it's easy to say it was an effort thing. I think our guys were battling for sure, but you also have to do things right, and you also have to come up with the ball at times. If it's 50-50 or 60-40 and the advantage is not in our favor, to win really important games, sometimes you have to come up with some of those balls. And the loose balls, the tip balls, the ones where they got a rebound and that turned into a cut, all those things we can do much better. Okay, thank you.